welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. So, guys, this is my review recap for Season 2, Episode 5 of Bel-Air, baby. And, honey, things is getting a little testy, all right? We got to be careful what we ask for because we just might get them, you know? Will wanted to be on this daggone team bad. He wanted to be in Doc program. He's officially in there, but baby, he gotta work hard, okay? You gotta work hard for the money. You know, he's over here on the treadmill. Doc is over here, you know, speeding it up. He also gonna have to go ahead and learn how to swim. So who you think he gonna call other than Lisa, right? To go ahead and give him these lessons. You know, we still got Jackie giving him pointers, and we got, you know, Phil and Jeffrey still kind of having this weird relationship that we don't know what's going on, what's happening, where we going to, all right? Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? All right, and then we got Hillary, child. Hillary going hard, trying to impress, trying to get this daggone sparkling water so that they can have that, you know what I'm saying, in the bag and show that their house is good and that she could do it all without Ivy. Meanwhile, you use Ivy's signature, so I'm confused, girl, how you doing it without her by forging her signature, okay? But we gonna go ahead and proceed, yes, indeed. And so, you know, Jazz is feeling a little bit of jealousy, and Carlton, baby, they out here trying to get Carlton trapped up and you know, get him back with his anxiety and get him back on freaking drugs because him and Daggone Will done both got put up for this award. Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Break it on down. Take it from the top. So, of course, Aunt Viv is over here struggling. She's still trying to get this art show together. She's still trying to make it do what it do. You know, Will is over here. Child, he throwing up because he's so tired and exhausted from this freaking work. You got the guys from the team saying you ain't got it. All right, you can't hang with us on all of this kind of stuff. And Jackie comes over and tells him, like, listen, you got one guy that takes 3 buses to get here. You got another one that was sleeping in his car. These guys really put in the work. They don't come from no privilege. They don't come from no easy handouts. You know, they done had a hard knock life. And so you got to show them, you know what I mean, where you come from, and that you not just somebody that's uppity that's coming in from Bel-Air thinking you going to get this free ride. So then he basically mentions to her, you know, like, damn, laps, okay? Because Doc come over and was like, next week we going to be doing 50 laps in the damn pool. And she was like, don't tell me you don't know how to swim. So, baby, we already knew where that was going. So now as Aunt Viv is in here doing this work, Jeffrey is coming in and bringing, you know, paintings in, and she's telling him thank you. He's like, no problem. So, of course, she going to do a little check-in, all right, and say that, you know, he should go, how's things going with him and Phil? You know, what is the truth? She's just asked him how things was going, but he, of course, was like, between me and Phil. She like, yeah, I was saying in general, but with you and him too, right? And he says it's going, and she was like, you know, he is very lucky to have you in his corner. I'm glad that you are back here, especially with everything that he's been dealing with the firm. He needs you back here more than ever. Now, you know, he tells her about the fellowship not rewarding her as much as she may have hoped. You know, of course, she is kind of going through it with Janice, and Janice has made it clear that she's not comfortable pushing the envelope or whatever, right? And so she does, you know, he does say that they lucky to have her, and she says, well, shoot, if you could tell them that for me, you would be a big help, right? And she's basically like, come on now, Janice loves you. We all know she got a little crush on you, okay? So, of course, he says he would do anything he can to help her. So, you know, then we got this family reunion coming up, and he tells her he gonna make sure that he got, you know what I'm saying, the house stocked with liquor. Not for them, but for him, of course, so he could go ahead and hold her down because he knows she gonna need a drink to be able to get through, you know what I'm saying, some things. So, you know, we actually had Uncle Phil come and give, you know, little Ashley a letter and, you know, tell her that he was waiting to see her. This, of course, is from Miss Hughes. And no, Miss Hughes is not coming back to the house or whatever. She's moved on. She's going to be closer to her family. She is going to have a job. You know, it's not what she wanted, but in the long term, this is actually a good thing. And so she just basically gives Ashley this letter that is letting her know not to let anybody dim her light. Keep it moving. Keep being the star that she is. Okay, shine like, shine bright like a diamond. Sorry, y'all, I'm getting tongue tied. So moving on from there, Will gets to damn school late, of course, because he done been doing all this working out with the team, and Carlton lets him know, that he late, and he like, look, ease up, all right, I am here. And so, of course, we about to get the announcements about the awards, and he's just letting Carlton know, like, you got this, you got it in the bag, don't even worry about it, because you are all good, you know what I'm saying, and giving him a little fist bump or whatever, right? And so in the meantime, they start counting out these names and saying it's time to, talk about who's going to get this Founders Award or who's going to be nominated for it, right? And they name like three other people. And then, of course, we get to Carlton Banks. And then, baby, we hear Will Smith. And they both looking at each other like, what? And all of a sudden, we see old sneaky girl from the BSU with a little smirk on her face, okay, because she still seems to be in her feelings with Carlton. And instead of her coming and apologizing to him, when in fact she was wrong about, her whole perception of how what she thought of him and how she treated him the last time around, it seems as if she's done put him in the mix, put Will in the mix, okay, just to start something on freaking purpose. So I'm like, girl, really, we giving you the side eye, okay? So now, of course, Carlton's in his feelings about that because he don't want to have to be going up against his cousin. They're saying congratulations to Will in the hallway. And then Carlton comes up to Will like, do you even know what the Founders Award is even about? Like, and Will is like, listen, I didn't ask to be put inside of this. I don't know how I got there in the first place. And so here comes, Miss Thang talking about well, we nominated you. And Will is basically like, seriously? He's just as shocked. So now when Lisa comes up, she's congratulating both of them. I mean, this is, something astounding to have two black students that is basically nominated at the same time. And so Will says to Lisa, can he go and speak to her for a minute on the side alone, okay? Because, of course, he want to ask her about teaching him how to swim. And Carlton steps in front of Miss Thing and was like, wait a minute, you trying to really convince me that this is not personal, that you didn't put my cousin against me on purpose? And she is basically talking about we just really thought that he was a good fit. He's done something that we've never seen before. And besides, okay, no, it's not nothing personal. It just seemed like the right choice. And hey, it's two black students that's nominated. That's a good thing, isn't it? And then she's smirking still and walking away, child. So now Will is asking daggone Lisa about these swimming lessons, and she was like, man, I offered you my service a couple months back. You did not want it, so what is the rush all of a sudden now? And of course he lets her know that he needs this help, for the team. It's part of his training. He got to know how to swim. And he's like, come on, man, I got the best person in the world, to teach me. She was like, he tells her, you my girl, you my go-to. So she was like, all of a sudden I'm your girl when you need me, when I come in handy for something. And he like, come on now, you my ace. And she over here smiling because, of course, Lisa still got feelings for Will. And when he told her it was over, she was not ready for it to be over. So she's kind of looking at this in a whole nother way. He also, of course, brings up Drew. And she's like, please, Drew, ain't nobody thinking about him. We are paying him dust ever since what he did to Carlton. So we basically see that these girls that stay in the Hillary house is not happy. They not impressed. We was getting invited to different events. We was getting invited to red carpets. We was getting all these different pictures. Now we ain't doing nothing. And Hillary is literally right next to her like, hello, I'm here. So she hang up the phone and she like, girl, I've been trying to be patient, but for real, you ain't got nothing going on. Hillary telling her, listen, I'm going to have this Spike deal. She was simply Spike deal. She was like, girl, you was saying that last week. She was like, I know what I'm saying, but our numbers are going to go up. We are going to get the engagements. She tells her if we had Ivy followers, we would be getting them a lot faster. And Hillary is telling her, no, we don't need Ivy. We can do this all on our own, right? She was like, I promise you, take my word for it. We are going to be where we need to be. So now we got, one of, Will's teammates coming up to him from the school saying the team really misses you. And he's like, yeah, what about coach, right? And he's talking about, yeah, he does too. But he just may not necessarily know how to say it. We like, yeah. So, he says that it's something that Will has been nominated for this award as soon as his suspension is over and he's coming back to school, and that he is trying to work on coach with giving him a second chance or whatever the case may be. But Will is basically like, hey, I'm killing it right now. And he tells Will he's glad everything is working out for him. So now, we basically get, we get Jeffrey and Uncle Phil talking, right? And they're talking about this Garrison construction account. And Phil is in here stressed out having his drinks and talking about how this is one of their biggest clients. Of course, we found out that while Phil was gone, things got hectic. They was not getting the killings with the clients the way that they was before. They lost the clients, and so the firm is not doing good, baby, and they might have to shut on the way down. So, of course, Jeffrey is just telling him, I'm sure Robert, Garrison would agree to a sit down with you. Like, y'all got the history and stuff like that. And, I'm saying, you'll be back on the throne in no time. And so, Phil just looks at him and basically says, Jeffrey, I'm so glad to have you back, right? But Phil ain't really looking like he's so sure about this. Now, in the meantime, he go ahead and leave or whatever. So now we got damn Connor coming over talking about some, oh well, it looks like both of us is gonna be losing. Neither one of us is gonna be able to make it. And he's like, I'm sure this is a really hard time for you, and you going through a lot of things and probably having all different kind of panic attacks and right now and really wanting to be able to use something. And Carlton is actually like, nah, I'm good. Okay, speak for yourself. All right. And so, he's basically like, after the Malcolm X stunt that we'll pull, we both gonna be out of the running or whatever the case may be. And he's like, why don't you go ahead and let me help you out a little bit, give you a little bit of an escape. And so Carlton is like still telling him, nah, I don't need your help. I don't want nothing from you. I am good. So Connor's talking about some, oh, I know that we not boys or nothing, Carlton, but I do know you or whatever. And I know that you really, are not good right now. And he basically ends up telling Connor, F off, Connor, okay? What part didn't you understand? I said what I said. And Connor over here talking about this is just a peace offering and puts the daggone drugs down anyway. And Carlton had to hurry up and snatch it up so nobody would see. So I said, oh, so Connor, you over here talking about I'm your pusher, man. Trying to get damn Carlton back on that stuff, y'all. So now Carlton goes in the bathroom, honey. He hyperventilating, he having flashes, he going down memory lane, thinking about the positions that he was in before. And if anything, this is giving him more anxiety than what he was already getting from freaking before. Now, did he flush it down the toilet? Because, baby, we just see him looking at the bag, looking at the toilet, looking at the bag, looking at the toilet. I said, what are you going to do, And then we do hear a flush, okay? But we didn't see it. I didn't see it with my own eyes, Carlton, okay? And then he walks out the bathroom. But, so far, Carlton seems to be standing strong. So we got, Phil at this daggone meeting, supposedly about to meet Robert Garrison. But, baby, no, we got some ex that he so happened to know, apparently. Okay, got some type of past relationship with coming up. Erica's that you? Oh, well, why don't you sit down for a minute? What are you doing here? I thought you had been in New York. And she tell him, well, she done moved to LA, and got this firm here. So he like, okay, well, can you sit for a minute? Can we have a drink? So she go ahead and sit and want to reminisce, sniffing the drink, talking about, yeah, if I remember correctly, this was your fave, okay? How Viv doing? He talking about Viv is good, how was it? What was your man name? Was it Chris? How he doing? Oh, well, we didn't work out. He didn't want no kids. I broke up with him, then got with somebody else, and he didn't want no kids either. And then he went and had another, twins with a damn 25-year-old trainer that he was working out with. So that's how things is going for me. And, Phil is like, oh, wow, okay. So come to find out, he over here saying how he waiting for a client, and she like, oh, no, you're not, because that client is not going to be coming. And he's like, you're the one that basically took him. And she's like, bingo. Okay, there it is. Whoop, there it is. So we see Aunt Viv, with the second Aunt Viv, okay, from the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She is here, of course, just trying to give her the breakdown, show her everything, what everything is going to be set up, how it's going to flow nicely, how it's going to be champagne, everything is going to be good. Original Viv is saying, that sounds great, and, just a few thoughts, baby, and her few thoughts end up being a whole bunch of thoughts. She talking about some, may I? Taking the clipboard, checking this off, checking that off, checking the other off. This space looks funny. This looks out of, sorts. This needs potential right here with this series. This needs to stop abruptly. We could go ahead and X that out and cross this out. This needs ascension. We could put these back here. So, Viv is like, excuse me. I done sat here and put in all this time and all this work, girl. What? So, as we go on from there, come to find out that, like I said, Miss Erica done swiped up daggone Phil's client, and she's basically telling him, well, you can forget that, you're not going to get the client back or whatever. He's telling her how Viv is focusing on her art and she's doing good and all of that. So now he kind of like on the defense, because she basically saying, what you're not going to do is get that client back because I got him, but there may be one way that you could possibly get him back, and we could go ahead and discuss that. And I'm guessing she's saying to team up with her, but child, I don't see that working out good. Now, Will is in this pool. He floating. Lisa's giving him the instructions. She telling him, we came up in the water. We was born in the water. So your body really is supposed to float naturally. And then focus on my voice. Go to your peaceful place. Relax, relate, release. And you know what I'm saying? You are going to be okay. So now when she starts backing up, he's still floating, and he's like, wait a minute, am I floating? She like, you floating? He like, I'm floating. So he like, wow. And she's smiling, he's smiling. This is just like a little moment in between them. And of course, her feelings is starting to bubble on up back in the air with them waves that's in the water, child. Now, Hillary comes to vent to her mother, but her mother is just really trying to make sense out of all this daggone stuff that she got to do with switching around this stuff for this house show. They stressing your girl out. But Hillary is like, Ma, okay, can you pay attention? I'm going through a hardship right now. So she's like, okay, give it to me, break it down. You got 10 minutes. Tell me what exactly is going on. And Hillary proceeds to tell her how maybe she should just give up on this deal. Maybe she should let it go. Maybe she can't do it without Ivy. And her mother is basically like, no. Maybe you should just keep pushing and thinking and, of other ideas and push yourself to the limit and give yourself a chance. You can't give up that daggone quick just like that, girl. You got to put the work in or whatever, right? I'm sure there's something that you could think of your boss, and you got to trust your gut. So, basically that gives, Hillary a little something to think about, where she's like, like a high level event maybe that's happening in the next couple of days. So of course, she is thinking about going to her mother's art event and making that something that she could use to help her out with, her situation. Now we get Will and Lisa. They still sitting here and, talking, and she talking about let's go Smith and splashing the water on him, and he chasing her around and she laughing. He, ha, ha. We know how that go. Y'all know how it go, all right? And so she talking about no weight, and he like got your ass, and we hugging up and all of this stuff. And then she's basically like, Will, and he's like, what? And she's pointing, and he's like, oh shoot. He was like, yo, I did that because he basically ended up swimming all the way out to where she was when she moved back. So now we hugging and we excited and we happy again, and we looking like we was almost about to kiss, okay? But of course he's basically like, she's telling him like, you got it, you should be able to be set and go ahead and do what you got to do when it comes up this week. And he's like, hey, thanks Lisa, I really appreciate this, I really owe you one, right? And she's basically like, well, at least you won't drown, all right? And he says he will take it, definitely he gonna make this thing work or whatever, right? And he don't have no backup plans. And so she was like, well, if you work hard enough, you're gonna get what you wanted or whatever, and you're gonna be okay. And of course, he talking about some, yeah, guess you right, and we looking like we want to kiss again, but we don't kiss. We just start, splashing water all around. And so then Lisa's in here helping Aunt Viv, and of course she don't know no better. She spills the tea on Carlton and the fact that, well, first of all, that him and Will both got, nominated for these awards. And she's like, oh, I had no idea, they didn't tell me. And Lisa's like, well, maybe they wanted it to be a surprise. I feel bad now that I opened my big mouth. Then she spills the tea on Carlton's daggone panic attacks, talking about, I'm glad that he is doing okay after everything that went down after the daggone protest. And Viv is like, what happened at the protest? Speak now, Lisa, okay? Speak up. Tell me right now. So, of course, she has to tell her. And, of course, Viv is in the, living room looking upset when Phil comes home. He's coming home and saying hi. And she's basically sitting there with the face on. And she is like, we got to talk. Apparently, they both got nominated. And then Carlton had another panic attack, and Will knew about it and did not tell us nothing. So now we got, Carlton in his room working out crazy, and Will comes in to check up on him. And he is basically saying, anything interesting happened to you today that you want to tell me about? And, Carlton is like, besides me and you getting nominated for the same damn award, the highest award that you have no idea what it is. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. And so Will is like, I'm saying, no, I really was thinking about more of Connor coming in your ear. So he's like, wait, you spying on me now? And Will's like, nah, man, I'm just making sure that you're good. I'm always going to make sure that you're good. And Carlton is basically like, listen, I am not no damn friends with Dagon. Connor, I don't care about nothing with Connor. He was like, I don't want nothing to do with Connor, whatever, or any of his bullshit. And Will is like, well, good, yeah? And he's like, yes. He was like, that was the old me. I have no interest in going back there. And so Will is like, okay, I believe you. Glad to hear it. We good. And they go ahead and zapped it up. And Carlton is like, can I get back to working out now? And he's basically like, yeah, okay, carry on, Superman. Okay, I'm not going to bother you. So now they try to figure out what is their game plan. How are they going to, go into this situation with having this conversation with Carlton about what happened. And you have Aunt Viv come to Carlton. One, tell him she's happy to hear about the news of him being nominated. But two, yeah, I also know about this panic attack too. And at the same time, we have Phil going to talk to Will, right? So this is the decision they made of how they're going to tackle this situation. And she's like, you could tell us about these things. We told you to let us know about this. And he's like, I'm sorry, Mom, but I didn't tell you. I didn't want to worry you. Will is saying that he's sorry to Phil, that he didn't say nothing. And Phil is like, I get it. You didn't want to betray his trust or whatever the case may be, right? And he's like, I know you're just trying to look out for your cousin. I completely get it or whatever, right? And Will was saying that he really has found a new lane, but at the same time, he feels like he's part of the problem. Like him pushing him with the whole, protest thing was probably pushing him too hard. And so, Carlton is saying to his mom, I didn't want y'all to overreact, even my doctor said I'm going to have good days and bad days and it's going to take time, so I don't want to jump to the first conclusions or whatever with this. And then, Will is being told by Phil, like, Carlton can't handle the pressure the way you can, but he will push himself extra because he sees you winning. And now with this nomination with the Founders Award, that's going to add a lot too. And Will was like, look, I just got thrown into the mix. I didn't ask for that and I don't even want it. My whole thing is with ASU, me getting with this basketball and all of that. And Viv is saying to Carlton, this is still a big accomplishment and we're still very, proud of you or whatever. And to have two of you, put into this, that don't happen every day. That's something that means a lot. It's something to be proud of and everything like that. And so, Will is basically saying to Uncle Phil, because Uncle Phil was like, we're still proud of you too, even if this isn't something that you necessarily was going for or looking for or whatever. And he was like, it means the world to Carl. And so, Will is like, easy, then I'll take myself out of the running. I ain't got to be included in it. He was like, trust me, Phil, Uncle Phil, I got Carlton, okay? Don't worry. But Lord, when you say don't worry, that means worry. So now, Aunt Viv is just telling him that, don't worry, everything is going to work out. It's going to be the best decision made. And, Carlton is pretty much saying that he got it. He's okay. And she's telling him she believes him. And so for now, we seem like we on a good path. Now we get to Aunt Viv's event. It's going good. Okay, we got these pictures up. The girls is loving it. The people seem to be loving it. We vibing. We got the dancers here. And the dancers just so happen to be daggone Jackie and her freaking crew. Okay, that Will done invited to come up in here. And we are also having the original Viv talking about, flirting over here with daggone, Jeffrey and talking about how she would be delighted to walk with him, and Viv is in the corner like, thank you, right? But even though we got the influencers and everything looks good, they are actually telling Ashley, look, we love your mom. We like the little aunt show. This is cute, but this is not really our type of thing. This is not who we want it to be. And, I'm sorry, not Ashley, daggone it. What is her daggone name, child? How I forget her name that quick, y'all. It's going to come back to me in a minute, but y'all know who I'm talking about, right? Doc shows up and he's saying thank you for the opportunity and also thank you for inviting his niece there and letting her do the dance or whatever. And Viv is like, absolutely, without a doubt. She like, glad to have you here, and we was looking for somebody that could do performative art to help along with the art that I have out here on display. We are all here for it. And who should be showing them around, okay, getting the introduction to Jackie without knowing who she is, but Lisa. They over here complimenting each other. She telling her she gonna do the damn thing. Jackie telling Lisa, girl, I love your boots. She asking where the bathroom is and all of that kind of stuff. And so basically, we like just waiting for that moment that she finds out that this is daggone Will's new girl. I mean, I never seen them make it official, but we might as well just call it what it is. And so we basically get back to Hillary, child, okay? Doing so many shows, took me a minute to remember her name. She's trying to convince her friends that, yo, we basically gonna have some stuff going on. So I wouldn't leave if I was y'all because I got a surprise coming, right? And, here we have Doc and Will having a quick conversation where he was telling him doors is going to open for him. He's going to be able to see things he's never seen, go places he's never been, okay? And, Will is saying he never thought about that. And he was like, well, I'm actually nominated for this award or whatever, but it's more my cousin's thing. And so here goes Doc talking about, well, things like that do help out. They look out for stuff like that, so maybe you should go ahead and count yourself in. So we knew that whole, I promise, don't worry, was gonna come back to bite us on the behinds, right? Now, in the meantime, we also basically, have Ashley looking at, this book of poems or whatever the case may be, and her mom coming over and talking to her and saying that's Phyllis Wheatley, and, it was published, the first black poet, okay, in the 1700s, all right, shine a light on her, okay? And she was like, she was around the same age as you. And so, basically Ashley's asking, was she a slave? And she was like, no, she was enslaved, and so basically she's just like, wow, I never learned about her in school or whatever, right? And so, of course, Armville is saying this is why it's so important that we educate ourselves. We really can't just depend on schools, and Miss Hughes taught you that. And so this was like a little thing to make, Ashley feel better about the situation with Miss Hughes. Now we got Jeffrey and Phil over here, having a little toast, picking up some drinks, and he's putting him up to speed that Miss Erica's back in the building, okay? She's out here working with the firm in LA, and she's actually the one that got the Garrison account and has basically joined the firm as a senior partner and is open to a daggone meeting. And so he's like asking him, did you speak to Viv about this? And he was like, not until I know, what I'm going to say. So in the meantime, he just looking and smiling and going over to Viv. Obviously, this is going to be a problem, y'all. All right. So then we get from there to, Carlton and, Jazz having a little moment where they are basically being able to laugh it up and talk. And Jazz notices, this daggone football player coming in, and it's like, oh shoot, I'm your biggest fan. I can't believe, that you're here. I actually won a fantasy football game, last week because of you. And come to find out that this is LaMarcus, who just so happens to be Hillary's ex. So he's coming interrupting when they saying hi, and he's like, yo, most receptions in the daggone, football game, and what's up, baby? And you that man, you the first pick, dog. I appreciate you. You went from the Eagles to the Ram. And he's like, yeah. But in the meantime, he looking straight at Hillary like he's annoyed that Jazz is even coming over there talking to him, okay? And so he's like, well, what are you doing here? How you know the banks? And baby, Carlton kind of looked like, uh-oh. And Hillary says, that's my ex. And Jazz is like, ex what? And she's like, ex-boyfriend. And so, of course, he want to know, why the heck is your daggone ex-boyfriend here? And, of course, he starts to feel a little insecure, a little small, okay, next to him, not to mention that he is shorter than him. But, yeah, Jazz, you was giving me very insecure. So, nonetheless, Hillary Vivian gets up to give her speech and talk about how she's so happy for the resources, the support, how far they've come and what they've able to build, what she plans on bringing to this, program. And she talks about being able to make it, an easier place for artists that's coming up now, and for the first artists that already started it out, and what a rich legacy that this is going to be here inside of this black owned gallery, and how all that helped her to launch it and stuff like that. And she is basically saying that, she can't wait to bring on all the different people and to create this legacy. And so she was like, that lives up to history, and she getting a little standing ovation or whatever. So she says, well, we all should be respected, heard, and welcome. And with that, they're going to start it out with this daggone dance, baby, where we're going to go ahead and break it on down, all right? And, hopefully she wants to be able to get all these different emerging photographers that's starting out, and also sculptors, and yes, even dance. And so they have the syndicated ladies about to come out and do a little thing for us. And of course, we know this is Jackie and her girls, and they do kill it. And so when they're finished, Lisa's basically coming over to her like, oh, you did a good job. And she's like, yeah, girl, you told me that I was going to do a good job. And yes, I did. And we got Will hugging them up. We got the influencers taking pictures with, Hillary, little ex-football man. And we got Jazz asking her, well, why is he here? Okay, why is he here? Why is he here? And she is like, well, it was just business. It's not a personal thing or whatever the case may be. I could care less where he is, and I'm just worried about being here with you. But Jazz is not looking at it that way, right? And at the same time that Lisa and Hillary is still here, basically, I'm sorry, y'all, Lisa and Jackie is still here, smiling in each other's faces and saying how good, she did and all of that. Will comes over and is hugging the girls, telling them that they did a great job. And we have, him come and give Lisa a kiss. Give Jackie a kiss in front of Lisa. And so Lisa just looks like, and where do you two know each other from, right? And so, of course, Will don't answer. He's just looking. And then she's like, well, anyway, girl, it was nice meeting for you and a great performance, right? And of course, Jackie is looking a little weird too, like, okay. So that was Zhang's girl, I take it, right? And so, Will is just, of course, sitting there with the dumb look on his face. And then, Jackie asked him, what's the thing between them? And he's like, we just friends. We friends. He said, we had a thing a long time ago, but we basically are just friends now. And, we cool, trust me. And so she basically was just shaking her head like, maybe you are, but she ain't. Okay, we could pick up on things like that. And so, of course, he just standing there shaking his head like, okay. So now he go ahead and go talk to Lisa or whatever, and she basically ends up telling him, look, we can't be friends, okay, in my Deborah Cox voice, all right? Because he was basically like, stop what? And she was like, I'm stupid for being that girl. And he was like, what are you even talking about? Of course, Will is damn clueless. And she was like, I'm sitting here, thinking that you still have feelings for me too, and obviously you don't or whatever. And she was like, look, I'm sorry, I got sucked back in or whatever with us spending time. And he was like, well, I was just happy and I just thought we could be cool again. You literally have been my best friend or whatever the case may be, and the only reason why I made it while I was out here. And so she was like, well, I'm sorry, okay, we can't be friends. And she walks away. So now Phil gets home or whatever, and he's telling Aunt Viv he's really proud of her, smooches and all of that kind of stuff, having a good old, toast and all of that, and saying that he's definitely proud to see where she's going and what she's gonna be. And Viv was saying Janice is not ready, and he was like, really? And she like, nah, yeah, no, not yet. And he was like, well, I mean, it's powerful or whatever, you know what I mean? And she's basically like, yeah, he says, I know you've been focused on giving the people a voice and having a voice of your own and everything like that. And so she was just like, baby steps, you know what I'm saying? I gotta take my time with this. So then she starts looking at him and she's like, what's wrong? And he basically was like, well, I didn't want to say anything earlier, but okay, we got a problem with Jeffrey. And so she's looking like, what the heck is the problem? So now, they over here having toast up with Hillary and her girls at the house. Okay, it's official. She done closed this deal. We on and popping now, but she's over here texting daggone Jazz and getting absolutely no type of response. Meanwhile, the girls are celebrating behind her, taking selfies or whatever. And so, Phil shows her that he put a damn security cam in his office, and I guess he basically seen when, Jeffrey is looking all around the office or whatever, and she's like, well, what is he looking for? And she was like, he says, now what, who? And basically we was right. He is looking for his son, Frederick, and we both know that can't happen. I said, look, Phil and damn Viv, y'all don't learn. Y'all don't learn. You had secrets and lies when it came to damn Will, and now you having secrets and lies when it comes to Jeffrey too. Like, what really is the damn story behind all of this? I'm so curious to find out. And then we have, you know, Will and Carlton, I'm sorry. Yeah, Will and Carlton laying back, both kind of thinking at the same time, laying on their bed. We have Carlton. We see that he didn't freaking flush the damn thing down the damn toilet, y'all. He pulling that out of his daggone book bag, and we seeing Will getting on the daggone computer like if he's ready to put in for this daggone thing instead of doing what he said he was going to do, withdrawing out of it. And we see Carlton basically take the stuff and put it in his damn drawer. Damn, y'all. Damn. That's what it is, y'all. That's what it is. And we got the Carlton crazy face at the end. So, child, y'all tell me what y'all think about this daggone episode, honey. Put it in the comments. Let's discuss. You know how we do, okay? Tell me what you liked, you didn't like, your rating, all that good stuff. Anything that I left out, put it in the comments. We will discuss it down there. Oh boy, y'all be stressing me out, okay? Give me a wave. Let me know you came by. Put some flames up in the sky. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you were so inclined. Till next time, y'all. Toodaloo.